Hello and welcome to DUOBOT, your premier video game podcast. My name is Devin, aka Taterboy. I am here with my good friend Chandler, aka Fap Central. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, it's Mother's Day. Fancy that.
Yeah, it is. I definitely knew that all day long.
Yeah, I just got.
Definitely didn't realize it at like 2 p.m.
Yeah, well, hey, at least you remembered. That's the plus. At least in my book. I don't know. I'm not a mom, so I can't speak for anybody else. What everybody else says.
I don't think I'm a mom.
Well, who knows? It's 2018. Who even has an idea
Exactly.
anymore? Well, yeah, this is DuoBot. This is our very first live podcast. I mean, we've done a few tests before, but this is the official first episode. So, welcome and strap in and let's get this thing going.
Did you say strap in or strap on?
Yes.
All right. How you been, man?
I've been good.
Good.
You know what I
Did you
have
hear
been
about?
what I have been
Go
doing
ahead.
lately is it's actually been great. Is I've been playing a super heavy amount of Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't actually. I hate that game. But
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
super smart. Epic Games is, in my opinion at least, because they added something to it that probably got a lot of people to play it, even though they may have not even heard about the game or may not even like the game. But they added a main character, some certain game mode. I don't know. You have to look into it a little bit more. But they added Thanos to their game as an extra game mode. Effective, I think it was like last week sometime. Something like that.
Yeah, it was. So the way it works is it's regular Fortnite solos. I don't know if you can play a duo or a squad. I'm pretty sure you can't, but you just drop in and then like after 30 seconds of the bus flying in, the gauntlet from Thanos will drop and whoever picks it up becomes Thanos. You get 200 shield and 200 HP as where normal is 100 shield, 100 HP for max, and you get a bunch of special powers like you can jump around through the air and shoot lasers and stuff. But if someone kills you, you then drop the gauntlet and they can run over and they can become Thanos.
Gets pretty intense, I hear.
I was tilted when it first came out because I was lied to and I thought it was going to be superhero skins, and I was about to buy every single game pass just so I could get those damn skins because I wanted to play as the Hulk. But no, I got you baited.
Got you baited. Damn you, Reddit. You're supposed to not lie to us, but you did this time.
But I mean, the mode looks fun, but at the same time, it's like you're just playing Fortnite with one guy that's stronger than everybody else because of RNG.
Yeah,
So like, I didn't really see the whole like appeal of it aside from oh god, it matches the cool new movie that came out.
right. Which I personally think is genius. I mean, Epic Games came up with this great idea. They probably spent a lot more money on it than they probably should have, or I'm sure they spent a
Oh,
lot of money on it.
I'm sure they made all of that back already.
Well, I'm sure
To
they
be
made,
honest,
yeah, I'm sure they made all of it back easily, but it's just the great, like the most popular game in the entire world right now. Well, at least North America and EU.
I
Um,
think technically League of Legends still actually holds that number for concurrent players, but
mm,
as of like burst popularity right now, yeah, Fortnite holds it for
yeah,
sure.
definitely Fortnite, and then it's starting to lose some ground now. But the most popular movie that was around within the last few weeks, the Infinity War. So,
I'm pretty sure that made $1 billion in opening weekend.
that a billion? That's a lot
I can Google it real quick, but
for
I'm
for
pretty sure I
opening
read that.
weekend. That's a lot, but maybe I feel like when those come up, when those like stats come out, they don't. Some of them like aren't legit. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I've always used. I just always go to Box Office Mojo because they're always like
Mm,
usually at least within the ballpark.
yeah, I gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely genius and well timed on their part for sure. And I'm sure, Marvel came out with something that was like, hey, yeah, sure, we'll let you do this, but you cannot do this until, May 9th or whatever, 2 days after the movie comes out.
Oh god, Forbes broke everything.
Forbes. Go on some of those random websites and like 12,000 ads try and pull up, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have ad blocker. And but it's like, yeah, you got to turn this off. Or yeah, I made 1.6. Million. Sorry.
As I say, billion was a lot. I could see 1.6 million, but a billion is like, holy shit, that's a lot.
Oh, wait, no, I'm actually stupid. It made 1.05 billion.
Oh,
I don't know how to read.
reading is hard some days, especially on a Sunday afternoon. I
Yeah,
get it. I get it.
yeah. Reading is very hard. Um,
Smork.
but I mean, it makes sense. This was 10 years in the making.
Right.
Everybody and their dog was going to see it.
Yeah. Even people who didn't even care about Marvel movies went and saw it.
Yeah, I mean, they had to. I mean, it was the talk of the weekend, at least.
Well, I would still think it is, but it's not as now that everybody's seen it, and I know I've seen it twice already in theaters, and I want to go see it again. But I know that like you see it a few times, then it just kind of starts to die down. So
Yeah, tis the art of pop culture.
yep, but it'll resurface. Um, but yeah, I mean, with this game mode, I feel like I've seen just like streamers play it, but this particular game mode in Fortnite, I feel like it's fairly balanced. Like, sure, Thanos is super strong because he can shoot like a laser from his hand, and he can crush buildings with by doing like power jump after charging up. But you also see him on like the top bar where you can see like the numbers of where people are at and what direction they are. You can see his name up there. So overall, or you can see exactly which direction he is and which direction the gauntlet is. So I feel like overall it's pretty balanced. I think they've had to tweak it or patch it out a little bit already since it started. But
Yeah, they nerfed Thanos. They dropped his HP and shields down. They used to be 300, but they dropped him down to 200.
yeah,
I was watching some streamers play it earlier, and I played a few games myself just to get experience. He doesn't feel overpowered at all as long as you get like okay weapons.
yeah.
Like you don't need like a gold sniper or anything, but like you need at least blues to like really take him out by yourself. Otherwise, you have to team up with all the other people that are trying to kill you as well. Because your goal is still to be the last one alive in the battle royale.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, it's a great idea from them. I don't know about the execution personally. I don't know. I just feel like it might have been too much at one point in time, and I feel like a lot of even the like streamers who play it were even like, well, this is fun, but I can only play like one or two games before I'm like not bored anymore. Or
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a streamer. I'm pretty sure it was Tim. He was like, "Well, that was a fun couple of games. Time to go back to regular Fortnite."
yeah,
It's like
and I think this.
it gimmicks can only go so far, and like it is a cool gimmick and it's fun for a few games, but then you just go back to regular Fortnite, and then you go back to sweating your butt off and building everything.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. I was just going to say, oh, and the thing with one of the things that I personally think is that just because it's solos, it really, I don't know, I feel like that kind of hurts it.
Yeah, I mean, it might make a lot more sense to do squads because of the setting of the movie, but I think they just didn't want to. They didn't want to have to make him too strong because four people working together to take him out is a lot easier than a single person who also has to worry about everybody else.
Right.
So they would have either had to make him extremely strong or make like only really weak guns drop, and it would have just gotten really complicated. I think this was the easiest way to balance it out, and that's why they chose that.
You heard it here first. Epic Games taking the easy way out.
Yep.
Question.
I mean, they completely left their PVE side away, and they just threw it into the trash. It hasn't been updated in 3 years.
I haven't.
And they decided to make a battle royale right after PUBG blew up.
Let's think about this for a second here. Yeah, I've played probably 15-ish hours on Fortnite, and I didn't even know that other site existed until just the other day. So,
Yeah, I mean it's basically just like Unreal 4 Minecraft like, with just zombies. You just work with your friends to build a base and kill zombies. It's not a bad game mode. It would be cool, but it has no support anymore. So what's the point of it?
yeah. Oh, okay. So it's Left 4 Dead. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, kind of.
Speaking of good old classic games, Left 4 Dead. Those are some good old classic zombie games.
They were phenomenal, and I need Valve to release number three so I can buy it, play about 10 hours, and then never look at it again.
They'll get it right on that. I think that's coming out right after Half-Life 3, so uh,
Hey,
that'll be coming out
hey,
soon.
that's a weak spot. Okay, Half Life Three is coming. Everybody prepare for it. E3 2018, it's coming.
Yeah. Now that is coming up in just a few weeks, isn't it? E3.
June, I think it starts officially on June 12th, but I think there's an expo June 11th for Square. I think Square Enix.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know what they have to show off other than Final Fantasy VII, because if they don't, I'm done with them.
No, there wasn't. Isn't Kingdom Hearts 3 part of that too, though?
Yeah, it's being okay. So the problem with Kingdom Hearts of Final Fantasy VII Remake is that they had the Kingdom Hearts team working on Kingdom Hearts 3 for all this time, which is cool and all. And then they had another team working on Final Fantasy VII. Then they saw what that team was doing with Final Fantasy VII, fired every member of the team, scrapped everything they did for Final Fantasy VII, and then told the Kingdom Hearts 3 team to work on Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII at the same time. So I don't know when either of these games are ever actually coming out.
Oh, well, you don't see the logic in that? Let's just get rid of a whole team that's designated to work on this one game, and then let's have them work on another game with another group of people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only thing I really see coming out of it is Kingdom Hearts 3's ending is going to be bad. Like that, the end game is just going to be like a huge amount emptier than the rest of the game. Like the beginning is going to be filled with all this beautiful landscape and all of these cool characters and fun things to do, and then as you progress through the game, it's just going to slowly taper off, and it's going to be less and less and less, and it's not going to be the ending people want because this is supposed to be the final Kingdom Hearts. That's all. That's the only thing that I see coming out of them splitting the company's time or the team's time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a bad business move, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, just by looking at it on the surface, you'd think that makes no sense whatsoever, but I mean, there had to be some kind of motive towards it, or some kind of motive behind it. Had to be something.
You would think. Either that or Square Enix just hates everyone.
They're cheap bastards.
I mean, they did release Final Fantasy 13.
That wasn't that bad, was it?
13 and 13.2 were terrible. 13.3 was okay.
Really?
It had a good wrap up. It had a good ending.
Oh, okay.
But all of the time you have to put in leading up to that ending is like, is this really worth it?
Well, of course. No, it's not.
It's never.
It's never worth it.
In other E3 news, since we're on the topic, that Walmart leak, though.
That was hilarious.
Walmart Canada's got our backs, letting
Yeah.
us know everything that's getting announced.
Yeah, exactly. And then they came out with it. They're like, oh no, that was total speculation.
Yeah.
Sure, bud.
You definitely were not putting those into inventory and hit the wrong button.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what happened is that Walmart, I think it was some kind of catalog that was coming out for this year. One of the things, there's like 80 games on there where it showed a bunch of games that were potentially coming out this year, but they were having them like it was going to be in their inventory as the year went on. So total E3 spoiler. I mean, even if it was partially like, even if 2/3 of those games didn't come out, just the fact that they were there and they speculated that was awful. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, so the only one I'm going to talk about, because like nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to be excited for this. They're all going to be shocked. Rage 2 is actually being made, and that makes no sense, because Rage 1 sold like maybe 50,000 copies and had like total like 20 players, okay? This game was bad. It had good gunplay, but no story at all. So I don't know why it's being made. But if that's what Bethesda wants to do, I guess that's what they want to do.
I didn't realize that was a Bethesda game. I thought they made good games.
You would think Fallout 4 is questionable. It's actually being made by id Software, like that's the actual developer, but Bethesda's the one who like backs it with all the money. They're the publisher. So
Oh, okay. So they're like the rich daddy of video games. Gotcha. Okay. Makes
if
sense.
it's not Elder Scrolls or Fallout or one other random ass racing game that came from the like 80s or 90s, it was not developed by Bethesda.
As long as they announce, I don't know. Bethesda's the one that I always get excited for because I feel like any of the other games are like we're gonna get probably another Nintendo announcement that doesn't mean anything to anybody who's relevant in the gaming world.
It'll be Smash this year.
Oh, that's right. They are coming out with the new Smash that was teased earlier this year. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they don't announce Smash, to be honest, I think they're stupid. Putting Smash on the Switch would be a sole reason for a lot of people to buy that console.
Yeah, because the only reason to buy that game or buy that console right now is Breath of the Wild. But
Yeah.
even someone who's like a super Legend of Zelda fan like myself, I don't have a Switch. I don't have any of that because I haven't spent money I haven't personally spent money on a Nintendo console since the GameCube. There's a reason for that. Because like real gamers, well, okay, real quote unquote real gamers don't want to play a game where you're throwing sticks around, like a Wii. You don't want to do that. Don't want to do that.
I agree. That's the reason I don't own one. I when I first got my job, I hard thought about buying one for Super Mario Brothers 3. But I realized it wasn't worth it because you can just play an emulator.
Yeah.
I don't condone piracy. Never mind.
Just throw that out there. We do not condone piracy on this podcast. Just for the record.
But it's out there.
And
you gotta do what you gotta do.
It can be done. That is true. Can be done. Yeah, so we had a family Wii growing up, and the only reason that I was okay with it was because you could still play GameCube games on there. So that's what I used our entire Switch or our entire Wii for, was just playing GameCube games. That was it.
Yeah. I completely missed the GameCube and the N64 era. I got a PS1, and then that was all my family could afford. So I just kind of chilled with the PS1 until into the beginning of the PS3 phase, and then I got my PS2. So.
Oh, wait. You did that backwards.
Yeah.
It's okay. See, the PS1 wasn't bad. There was a lot of great games on that. I mean, great classic games. There were a lot of bad games too, but there were a lot of good games.
It's crazy how much, since I owned the PS1 for so long, it's crazy how much I love the Final Fantasy games now, but never played them when I had my PS1. I didn't touch a single Final Fantasy until I moved to PC.
Yeah, those are still, I mean, even though they're still, they're mature games. You can't really just play that game when you're, 10 years old and expect to be good at or really enjoy it, I think. I think a lot of those games come out, or, you like them better as the years go on.
Oh no, 100%.
So
I think if I would have played it as a kid, I wouldn't have had the attention span to actually finish it.
Exactly, 100%. That is the same with me. Sometimes I can't even play games now. I'm actually really bad at that. Like, I have halfway of Horizon Zero Dawn finished. No, probably a fourth way into it and just haven't played it again. About halfway through Final Fantasy 15, just haven't played it again. The most recent game to come out that I've done that on is God of War, excuse me. I had something in my throat.
Great game. I loved that game.
Nice little smooth transition there.
That they changed exactly what they needed to change for me to be interested in it. Because if they would have just taken God of War 3, copy pasted, changed story, I wouldn't have played the game at all. I probably wouldn't have even bought it.
Yeah, I think that's like, even for me, I don't really like a whole lot of open world games, but even with me, I feel like it's just open enough to the point where I can do some other stuff, but it's just still linear, at least where I'm at now, which I'm about, I would say, halfway through, but I don't know for sure. But even where it's like, and halfway through just like straight story, I haven't done a whole
Yeah.
lot of side quests yet. But
The side quests don't really show up until like you get to the end game anyway, so it's no
oh,
real
okay.
big deal.
Yeah, so the only side quest that I've gotten so far is that Land of the Nine Lakes or whatever, where you can go like get some of the fight some of the bosses or have those like dead people come back to life or whatever it was. I don't even
Yeah.
really remember, but that's pretty much the most that's come out so far. I so yeah, I feel like it's a good transition and a good maturity of the game, kind of similar to how the Evil Within 2 was, where the Evil Within 1 was extremely linear. It felt like a Resident Evil game, which I absolutely loved. But the Evil Within 2 was just open enough to the point where you could go and explore a bunch of different places and do a bunch of different side stuff, but it would still keep you on track, which is what I personally absolutely love about God of War.
Yeah, same. I was expecting like old school linearness where it was literally on rails and the developer held your hand, but when the lake opened up and I realized that like you can go anywhere and do anything at any time unless you just haven't progressed that far in the story to get this thing to help you go through this door, then that made me like it a lot more. And the fact that the combat got revamped, because God of War 1, 2, and 3 was just like press square as hard as possible and randomly throw in some triangles, and boom, everything in the room is dead. Now, I'm not saying this combat system is perfect, but it's definitely a lot more engaging if you play on the harder difficulties.
Yeah. And I feel like comparing those old, like when God of War 1 first came out, that was the kind of, I want to say meta. I don't know if if that's the right word, but that's the same style of game that people kind of wanted. People
Oh
were,
yeah, no, for sure.
people were wanting the type of brain dead combat. Like one game that specifically comes to mind is Onimusha, which is extremely similar to what God of War is. It was made by Capcom. It's extremely similar, but it felt almost exactly the same as like God of War 1. Like combat wise, like you basically just mash buttons and then you try and get these souls, and what you would do with those souls is upgrade your weapons, etc., etc. Copy and paste. Fun game though. It was a great game back then. I still love it.
Sounds like Onimusha copied Dark Souls.
It's no. There's definitely not as much thinking in Onimusha as there would be in a Dark Souls game. Guarantee
feel
it.
that.
Guarantee it.
You'd be surprised how little thinking actually goes into Dark Souls.
Oh, huh. Well, maybe we'll find out one
Maybe
day.
maybe it's just because I've played it so much, but like, I just do things. I don't actually use my brain.
Make it sound so hard. Like, oh, it's one of the hardest games ever made. Is it?
It's not actually hard. So a lot of people like to play it off like that because they refuse to change their mindset. So the reason that Miyazaki made Demon Souls, which I think was the first, yeah, Demon Souls was the first one, was because he was so bored with video games. Like all of them were the same thing. They all had these insane autosaves. They were all super linear. Told you where to go. It held your hand. The combat was just 1 to 2 buttons and no deeper thinking. So he made a game that forced you to use your head. Like if you go into a room, there's a boss in Dark Souls 1 where when you walk in, you have no weapons, no gear at all. And the boss falls in from the roof and they basically are telling you, go ahead and fight it. But all you got to do is run forward and go to the left. And there's a door you can go through that closes, boss is beaten. You do not fight them at all. And then you go through this area and get some weapons, come back to the boss, he's easier. That's like how difficult it is.
Oh.
Most people would just ram their head right at that boss with no weapons trying to kill it and continuously die over and over. But if they just went to the left, the boss was done. So it's like, it's not hard. You just have to change the way you play video games. That's what's difficult for people.
Just win the game, forehead.
Hey, that's how you do it, dude. Just win.
Just win, and that's it. But that's a good point, and that's That's a good understanding because I would, you got me Dark Souls 3
Yeah, damn right I
on
did.
Steam, and I haven't even opened it yet. So maybe that'll be a good transition. Keep looking for games to play on stream. That's for
I
sure.
feel that.
But
I have bought Dark Souls 3, I think 5 times, and that's actually my least favorite one. And I don't know how to feel about that.
well, why'd you buy it 5 times, forehead?
I bought it once on PS4 because I didn't have my gaming PC yet. So I wanted to play it. I hated it because of 30 FPS is disgusting. And I bought it for myself on PC. Then I bought it for my stepdad on PC. Then I bought it for you on PC. And I'm pretty sure I bought it for one more person, but I'd have to go back and look at my Steam
Yeah,
gifting.
yeah. I think you bought it for Yeti, if I remember right.
It's very possible. Very possible.
I don't even remember, but yeah, I remember you saying that you spent like more money on that game than any other game, and it's not even you don't even like it.
I like it. There's just too much fan service. So like if you play Dark Souls 3, you won't get the same feeling that I did because there's thousands of callbacks to the older games throughout all of Dark Souls 3.
Isn't Dark Souls 1 getting remastered though
Yes, it is. In releases May 25th, I believe.
on Steam?
Yes, it does.
Oh, well, maybe I'll just do that then.
I would highly recommend that. Holy
Yeah.
shit, Dark Souls 1 is good.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll do that then. Maybe I'll wait for that and then we'll see how that one goes and we'll take it from there.
If you can, like if you are interested in trying that one, I would highly recommend paying for Dark Souls 1 right now, the Prepare to Die edition, if it's still on Steam, because all owners of the Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition now will get half off of the remaster, which would then be cheaper than paying $60 straight up for the remaster. It's cheaper by $10, technically.
Yeah, I like this thought process there. Hey, everybody listening, you listen to this shit? He's hooking you up with some stuff, all right?
It might be removed from Steam though. It's very possible. I know they were saying they were going to remove it from Steam like a week or two before the remaster releases, but yeah.
Those bastards. Oh well. Well,
No big deal.
we'll have to check. Is that confirmed though at E3, the Dark Souls remaster?
They're not going to talk about it at E3. They've already like confirmed it'll actually be out before E3.
Oh.
May 25th is when it comes out.
Oh,
E3 is
yeah.
June 11th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if they don't talk about whatever From Software's next game is, my heart might break in half. They gave us a 12-second teaser of a bone snapping in half, and then it says shadows die twice, and that was it. That's all we got. I'm hoping for Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne is the best one. Don't ask me that tomorrow because it might be Dark Souls 1 tomorrow.
Oh Lord.
I'm just so excited for E3. I'm so ready for them to just not announce any of the games I want and then just go cry in a corner.
Yeah, that's generally how it is. But I mean, for me, at least me personally, last year was great to hear that The Evil Within 2 was being announced, because The Evil Within 1 was such a good game, but they finally announced it and it came out the same year, and that was fantastic. It's great.
Oh, and if Todd Howard comes out this year for Bethesda and tries to sell me Fallout 4 on my phone, I will stop buying anything they make.
Oh,
Because Skyrim is already on everything. So the next step is Fallout 4. And I don't know what I'll do with myself.
it's not impossible. I mean, I'm with PUBG going to mobile. I mean, they might actually like try and start making games that are, that are actually you can play there. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Which I don't agree with, but I mean, even PUBG on phone. I watched one of my friends play it. It doesn't look that bad, to be honest. But since I have it on PC, I would like never play it on mobile. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't love the game enough to play it on mobile.
Yeah, same. Uh, I mean, that's one of the main reasons I don't use my PS4. Is like everything I can get on there, I can get on PC at higher frame rates and higher quality.
Except God of War.
Yeah, I bit the bullet on that one and just did it.
Just do it. Yep. Well, at least you had a good time. I mean, that's the most important part. I mean, that's the whole point of these games, right? We play these
Yeah,
games
no,
to have
100%.
fun.
Unless the game you're playing is League of Legends, then you play it to hate yourself.
Or money, one of the two.
Yes, yes, money. The first month is like, wow, this game is really fun and I'm enjoying myself. And then like after that first month, you're just like, I can't stop playing this game, but I don't want to.
Yep. And then it's just downhill from there. As you can see from the logo, this was intended to be a League of Legends podcast, but we felt like we would venture out and maybe take it to a different place. So we just instead of covering just League of Legends, we decided to cover all video games, which I personally think is better. But hey, tell us what you think.
Yeah,
Tell us what you think.
I agree. Doesn't mean we're gonna stop talking about League, obviously, as I just did. We'll still talk about it every now and then because we both still play it, not as much as we used to, but
How'd your games go the other day, there, bud?
so my first game, my support had never played ranked and was a top lane main that got autofilled. Didn't say anything. Kept taking my creeps. Fed at least 10 kills within 5 minutes. And then my second game, my jungler went AFK. So that's enough League of Legends for a month.
Yeah, that was yeah, that's fun. That's definitely fun. So yeah, other than God of War, what other games you been playing lately?
So despite the fact that I bought Far Cry 5 and other games on PC, I'm still playing Borderlands 2 from 2012. Uh, I just hit on this is just on PC. I've owned this game on Xbox since it came out. I owned it on PS3 when I switched over to that console, and I bought it on PS4 when it released. On PC, I just hit my 300-hour mark, and I'm still going strong on playing it, and I don't know why. I love the fact that the drop rates in that game are so terrible that the possibility of getting a drop and when it happens makes me feel so good. I just can't stop playing it.
Hey, whatever gets you a rush. I mean, if you find a good game, that's a good point because I've always one game that I've always played for the longest time is Madden 2003 on PlayStation 2. That's been one of the games that I've played. Just I mean, it's bad. It's terrible. The graphics are awful. The gameplay is shit. Most of the players in there don't even play anymore in the NFL anymore. That's how old that game is. But hey, you just start a franchise and let it go.
Yeah, dude.
It's the same thing.
Do you know about the Madden curse?
Yeah, yeah. The cover of Madden normally gets hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that for ever. And then I was watching the videos like top 10 video game like myths or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. I was like, that's creepy. Why do players still want to be on the cover?
Yeah, it was literally like 10 years in a row. They either sucked the second year or they either sucked the year after they were on the Madden cover or got hurt. And it was always the same thing. It was either their stats dropped substantially or they were actually hurt the entire season. It was insane.
Yeah, it ended Brett Favre's career.
Well, yeah, one of the few. We don't talk about Brett Favre here.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Everybody hurts.
I see you've been playing a lot of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
Are you enjoying that one?
Yeah, I've actually been streaming that. Shameless plug, twitch.tv/chaterboy09. That's me. That'll be in the description below. But yeah, no, I've been playing that on stream. I finished season 2 today. That game was actually really effing good. Like season 1. So basically, ultimately, the game is I don't know if there's any. It's a decision-based game, so everything updates with you as you make a decision. So like if you decide to go left instead of right, there are consequences for going right instead of left. There are consequences for going left instead of right, so on and so forth. You help someone, do one thing. Maybe a zombie is over there killing them, and they're no longer part of the story. It's absolutely great. I love it. Season 1 was, in my opinion, way better. I felt a much heavier connection to the characters because you start out basically as the outbreak happens, and the way that I felt from season 1, you were I was putting myself in the shoes of the main character, which made me have a better connection to everybody. In the second season, I felt like that started to diminish because we had already been the second season's almost like 2 years into the zombie apocalypse. And I just feel like it felt like everyone was just kind of on their own, and I don't know, I just didn't feel as good of a connection to the characters.
It was weird for me watching it because like obviously I was playing video games while you were streaming, and then had you open on my second monitor because that's just what I do.
Right.
And so like I was missing chunks of story while I was playing it, while I was watching you play it, but I never felt like I didn't know what was going on. So I think they did a really good job with their storytelling, at least in season 1. I straight up missed a good portion of season 2 because I had to do other things. But regardless of the fact that I missed so much of it, I came back to the very end of the final episode, and I was in the feels a little bit, regardless of the fact that I didn't know what was going on. That was some sad shit.
Yeah.
Not gonna talk about it, regardless of how old it is, but.
Right, and I'm always like that. That's why I was so happy to get God of War and start playing it, because I was like, I never get games when they first come out. I'm always like 2 or 3 years behind. So the fact that I'm playing this game, playing The Walking Dead now is funny and classic me. But yeah, I mean, even for how old it is, it was such a good game. Really, just overall, I felt like it was. I felt like I was in control a lot of the time, but I was totally in control, but I mean, that's not the point. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that you felt like actually bad if you made a decision like that got someone killed. I personally felt bad. I was like, no, oh shit, I did not mean to do that, or I didn't want that to happen, but hey, that's what would happen at the end of the world. Zombie apocalypse, that would happen. So
They did a really good job of making the decisions feel impactful. Because a lot of games like that, like I watched some gameplay of Life is Strange, which is another game that's similar to that format, but it's not done by Telltale. And I felt like the story, like the decisions they were making didn't seem impactful. Now, to be fair, it may have been things that like changed the entire course of the end of the game. I didn't see the end of the game. But if you're going to do a game like that, you have to see very sudden things happen to make yourself feel like the decisions you're making are doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I felt like another game that did really good of that was Until Dawn. That was one of the first that style of games that I played, and I fell in love with it instantly because it ultimately feels like you're playing a movie that you're making the decisions of. And the same thing kind of goes with Heavy Rain, but I don't think with Heavy Rain it was that big of a deal because the characters are meant to stay there towards the end. In Until Dawn, I accidentally killed off 2 people on accident. It was a complete by accident. I killed off 2 people, and they were not there at the end. And that's what would happen in that kind of horror movie.
Yeah. Speaking of Heavy Rain, just because the only thing I remember about Heavy Rain is that like it was one of those forefront games for the 6-axis controller on the PS3. It was like you could use the controller to shave your guy, and I was okay with that. I was down with that game. Never played it, but I thought that game was cool.
Yeah, and I played it on the PlayStation 4 when the remaster was out. So it was I didn't have that. The first game that I remember playing with the 6-axis was, it was one of the first games to come out for PlayStation 3. It was Heavenly Sword is what it was called. That was one of the first games I ever played with it, and I remember there was a section where you had to control like these rockets or something, and you had to use the controller. And I was like trying to do it for. I was like, this is so cool. Like fucking 14-year-old me is like, this is the greatest thing ever.
I like 6-axis. I think it's cool. I just don't think they've really implemented it fully well. And that's only because in Bloodborne, if you spam X fast enough and shake your controller, your character will emote, and it's so annoying. Because you can't do anything. You just get hit. Like, there's nothing you can do to get out of the emote. He just does it. So, like, you'll be fighting something, and you'll hit X, your controller will shake wrong, and you'll start waving at them while they just beat the shit out of you.
That's good shit, though. That is hilarious. From my end, at least.
Yeah, it's sure funny to watch and to hear about, but when it happens to you, it makes you want to snap some discs in half.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. There was in Until Dawn was also a PlayStation 3 game that I played on PlayStation 4 because, you know, me playing old games on new systems or playing them late. But one of the ways that I accidentally got someone killed was like if you move the controller during like an intense scene, then it would act like you were moving and it would like alert the monsters. So one scene I did it, it was right at the very end. You needed to hold the controller still. So I held it still and I had it on my lap and it like my leg shifted on accident and it moved it, and that's how I accidentally got someone killed. It was awful, and I cried because it was the main character who I accidentally got killed, the Hayden Panettiere character.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was terrible. I was like, okay, if there's anybody that's living, it's her. But she didn't.
That's awful. That's when you turn it off and you start a new game.
Yeah.
Screw this. No, I'm keeping this character alive.
That was the end. That was the end. That was the end. I couldn't even go back and do a resave or something.
That is tragic.
Yes. Yeah, so killed her, which distracted everybody. Everybody else got out. Everybody lived. That was it. I was like, are you serious? Son of a... Whatever.
Well, time to never look at this game again. Because it just makes me want to cry.
Yeah. Well, and that's also the thing about those games is I don't feel like they have it depends on how you feel about it. I don't feel like they have a lot of replay value. Well, okay, they do have a lot of replay value, but I don't have the motivation to play that replay. Is how I feel about it.
Okay, so the way that I look at it is they do have replay value if you're able to go against your own judgment.
Mm-hmm.
If your goal is to just see what the other option is, then yes, it does have replay value. But as in like trying to experience the game and like make your own decisions, like not really, because I mean, you already made your decisions. What's gonna happen? You're just gonna play the same game again.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, and that's why I don't, especially in Heavy Rain, like you can't kill off a major character because all the major characters are part of the ending, and if you don't have them there, it literally would not work. Like the game would not end. So even if you made like a stupid mistake, it would basically just restart the game. Is basically what would happen. So it wasn't, and I didn't realize that till afterwards. So like playing the game, like there's a scene in Heavy Rain where you're walking through an apartment that's on fire, and if you take too long, then there's like a gas tank that's going to explode.
I've seen that scene, yes.
Yeah, and I watched Tyler 1 play it.
That's who I saw play it.
That particular part, and he let it explode, or he jumped off the side, and she was still alive, as she probably shouldn't have been. Like the chick was miraculously alive.
I feel that.
So that's how I knew that game was not as impactful as I thought it was, but it still was that fun experience playing it, thinking that I was in control, but when I really wasn't.
Yeah, there's a few games out there that do that as do the whole, they let you feel like you're in control even though you're not. They do that really well.
But with like The Walking Dead, they did a great job of making me feel like I was in control, but if I did screw up, that it was on me. It was on me personally, not me playing in the game. It was on me personally. If somebody died, it was my fault, and that's what they do a really good job of.
Yeah, I wish that careful thinking and planning and story writing would have carried over to the show after 5 seasons, but it sure didn't. All of their creative writers went to make the games, which is fine. The games are good.
Yeah, games are way good. Yeah, I'm sitting there like, okay, if this person dies, I'm leaving. I'm shutting this game off. And yeah.
And then they died, and he continued to play it because he sucked in.
I still played it because I'm not a bitch.
Exactly. The only other thing that I've been really spending my time in actually is I have been playing Clone Hero, which, if you don't know about it, is PC version of Guitar Hero. Like, since Guitar Hero 3 was super trash on PC, the community took it upon themselves to completely design from the ground up a working version of it. And they also made it so you can install any song you want as long as you know how to chart and have the audio. So it's pretty cool. I still suck, but I'm getting better. That's all that matters.
Hey, as long as you know you suck, but you're still doing good, it's fine. But I think you're saying you suck because you watch streamers who literally play that game for their own, like, that's their job, and you're comparing it to that. So
you're 100% right, because like I can do the entire intro to Through the Fire and the Flames and never miss a note now, and I can also finish that and Fury of the Storm at least 95% or above. But the fact that I can't hit the 100%, it tilts me. So I just need to take more time and play it.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work, especially with all the clicking and clacking and people sleeping.
What a good game, though. Speaking of revolutionary games, Guitar Hero, that was one of them for sure.
I think it was just because it came out of nowhere. Yeah. Like, everything before that was like, you had to use the regular controllers, and it was all like, it was like beat 'em ups, like fighting games, and like very, very linear story games. And then like Guitar Hero was just like, yeah, so we're just gonna make it so you can play music, and then you can feel like you're playing a real guitar without having to play a real guitar.
What? That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that the song list for one was good, but the game itself was terrible. I mean, but since it was the first, nobody knew how actually bad it was.
Yeah, we had absolutely nothing to compare it to.
And then 2 came out, which was slightly better, but still pretty bad. And then 3 was God tier.
Yeah. 100%.
And then I slowly stopped playing them after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after that, they started coming out with... It got so big that they're like, hey, well, let's come out with Guitar Hero Aerosmith, or Guitar Hero Metallica, or Guitar Hero just 80s music, or just Guitar Hero just this particular band, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, they got the Ubisoft bug real bad, and they just like started just slapping words on underneath Guitar Hero. And was like, here's a new one, just like they do with Assassin's Creed. Like, let's spin the wheel. What point in time are we going to? Okay, 1866. There we go. Don't know what happened in that year, but we're going there anyways.
I'm sure there was a pirate around at that point. Let's make that one. There had to be at least something there.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed, that's probably getting a new one next year.
Origins
was super fun.
A new one just came out. What?
Yeah, that's why I said next year. It'll be out in 2019.
Oh, okay.
I hope they put it in 2019 anyways. If they put it this year, it's going to be terrible. Just going to go ahead and say that.
Yeah. Well,
all of the bad Assassin's Creeds came when they were doing the yearly release. Unity was terrible because it needed a 2.6 gig update to actually finish the game, because they released it unfinished, of course. Unity was bad. Syndicate was multiplayer only, which was terrible. Rogue was unmentioned, even though it released. Like, it wasn't until they took 2 years to make Origins that they actually made a good game. The last good one was Brotherhood, I think.
Yeah, you have to speak for yourself on that one, because I remember playing Assassin's Creed 1, and that was it.
I never finished one because my game's super hard bugged and wouldn't tell me where to go. And when I went to every single city on horse, every single one of them was like, "Ah, we got nothing for you, bud." So I couldn't finish the game. So I was like, "Fine, I'll just go play 2, and you can just take your game and shove it up your own ass."
Just go get another
2
copy, forehead.
Nah, fuck that. I didn't have a job then.
True. Well, shit. Well, I don't think we're getting the Evil Within 3 this year, but maybe next year. That's all. I'll start holding my breath now, Bethesda.
That's a long wait. So I think I'm doing the rest of this podcast by myself. So since that's the case, it's time to talk about nothing but Borderlands.
You can talk about Borderlands. Go for it.
There isn't much to talk about. I could start talking about things, but it would just be boring.
Talk about dead games. That's fine. You go for it.
Still more players than Call of Duty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Definitely talk about dead games then. In that case.
I hopped on World War II yesterday with Yeti, and he was like telling me about all the changes, and I was like, I don't know if it really matters if I know what the changes are. There's literally only 1,600 people playing this.
Oh my god.
Like, we're going to sit here for 20 minutes to find a game, and then I'm just going to get steamrolled by the guy using hacks. I don't know if it really matters.
Oh, jeez. Good thing we spent money on that right when it first came out, am I right?
Hey, I got 100 hours of playtime on it when
Yeah,
it first came out,
that's
so
true.
I'm good.
I didn't. I just used the fire shotgun and ran around in circles. It was great.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about truly dead games that I'm excited about? For Honor is about to redo Orochi, who was my character that I played all the time, and they're going to make him super overpowered. I am so excited to not play that game.
Oh, whew, I'm sorry. Are you done talking about that game yet? Okay, cool. I fell asleep for a second there. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel that. That game's got way too many issues.
Came and died pretty fast.
It was fun while I didn't realize all the problems with it.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I was like having fun and was like, oh, I died here because I'm bad, not because the game is bad. And then like 200 hours later, oh, this is a glitch that one hits me from the warden. Okay, I'm going to turn this game off now.
I remember it frustrated me because I'm used to playing fighting games where you just button mash, so you can't do that in that game.
Yeah, no Mortal Kombat or Injustice over here.
Sadly.
You can't even button mash Injustice. It feels bad, man.
I know. You have to be a freaking pro to play fighting games nowadays. Why can't we just go back to like Mortal Kombat Trilogy where you literally just button spammed and, hey, you happen to win sometimes?
Go buy Tekken 7.
Oh,
Pick
okay.
Eddie, and just roll your face on the controller.
Wow.
That's all you got to do.
Eddie
He's still in the game.
He's still
And
busted?
There's like a specific combo you do, which will put him into the ground spin, and then once that starts, like you just continuously hit him in the air, and they just can't get out of it. It's super stupid.
Yeah, I remember you could do that on like Tekken 3. Because like he's always been busted if you know how to use him.
Well, they made him far easier. You don't have to know how to use him. You just got to press buttons, and Eddie will win.
Huh.
It's super dumb. But if you want to win in Tekken, you got to play the panda. That's all you got to do.
You just sit there and make him...
Use his super and slap him with a salmon.
Oh! Wow.
Not even joking.
I have a feeling you're not joking. That's why that's hilarious. Jesus. What are games?
Japan is a great company. Country.
Japan gaming is a good market. That's what you meant to say. It's all good.
Well, there's a studio called Japan Studios.
Oh.
So maybe I was talking about them.
How'd they get that one through?
I don't know, to be honest.
That's weird. All right. Well, what else you got to talk about? What else you got? That's pretty much all my list. So
MSI is going on right now. League of Legends tournament.
Yep.
NA and EU are just getting smashed. So
I didn't check today's games. I watched NA's games today, and they went 1-1, but that puts them at 1-5 for the whole tournament, so they're pretty much done.
why is NA such a joke?
Yeah, just at tournaments. But even RNG wasn't looking that good. I think the top two right now are Flash Wolves and the Korean team.
Not KT Rolster.
King Free Zone or something? Dragons?
Yeah.
King Zone
X
Dragons?
Longzhu.
Yeah, whoever they used to be.
Longzhu is who they used to be, so that's what I'm going to call them. But, I mean, that team is stacked, so it's not really fair.
That team is stacked.
There should be a rule against that.
Why, though? They've been doing it in the NFL and especially basketball within the last few years.
That's what I'm saying. Got to spread out the wealth of good players so we have actual fun games.
No, we just want the same two teams in the championship every year. Looking at you, NBA.
I'm not opposed to it, but it definitely makes it more boring.
Yeah, especially as someone. So I'm speaking specifically towards the NBA right now. They have had it's the Cavaliers and the Warriors, who is LeBron James' team and Steph Curry's team this year.
Yep.
Just for like at least the last 2, maybe even 3 NBA finals has been just them. That's it. Nobody else. And it's
shame.
They're still in it this year. They're right now in the NBA playoffs. They are in the conference finals, so there's only 4 left. It could be literally those 2 teams in the finals again. 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row.
That's fun and interactive, dude.
Fun and
For
interactive.
Sure.
Like, what's the point?
I wonder why less people are watching.
People, well, I think there was a jump a few years ago where like Steph Curry first came on the scene, where he was where NBA was probably the most popular sport for the year, but who even knows?
Yeah. Go Twins.
Go Twins. Hey, sub to Tim while you're at it.
Exactly. Forehead.
Sub to Tim Forehead.
I think that's really all I got to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's all I've been really up to all week.
Yep, same. I think that's a good. We're sitting at about an hour here, so let's call it here.
Okay.
So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We will be doing weekly uploads about this time every Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. Hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy the content we're putting out here. Leave comments if you have a certain game you want us to play or talk about, whatever case may be.
Or if you even have like. If we said something that you disagree with and you want to let us know why you feel that way, feel free to put it in the comments.
Fight us. We want to have a comment war with you.
I will take my shirt off and type as furiously as I can.
Hey, at least somebody's doing something around here. That's all that matters. All right. Well, we do really appreciate it. Once again, I am Devin, a.k.a. Tater Boy, and that's Chandler, a.k.a. Fab Central. Signing off. Have a great day. Bye.